invites you to our monthly program titled Hour of Deliverance. Every second Saturday of every month, time 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Ministering Pastor Julius Hayday-Willay. Come and experience your breakthrough, deliverance, and total freedom. Also, join us for our regular services. Every Sunday for our family worship service at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Every Monday morning, Destiny on Fire, 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Every Wednesday for our Holy Ghost service at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And Friday for Hour of Favor from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Venue, LCCM House, Kemp Road, Chadwell Health, Dagenham, Essex, RM81ST. For further details or appointments for counseling, please call 0208 597 6770 0793 956 5981. Your appointed time has come.
Exclusive Events Hire Services, adding class to your events. We offer a one-stop service to all our clients. Our team is formed of the best of the event industry. It would be our pleasure to put our extensive experience and expertise to work for you. We manage and plan weddings, birthdays, christenings, anniversaries, celebration, parties, team building events, and many more. Today for a quotation on 0207 064 9929 or 07540 254 342 or 07956 821 246 or visit us on our website at www.eehireservices.co.uk. Well, hello and good afternoon and welcome to another show on Praise Talk Show. My name is Praise Asimota and I hope that I've met you well in the comfort of your home. I am so excited with today's show again. For those of you that have watched us last week, you would have seen one of the youngest 71-year-old ladies that you have ever seen on your screen. This woman doesn't just talk about what she does, she lives it. And that's why I've brought her again for us to finish off where we left off from last week. And we're talking about water and structured water, not just water, the benefits of water to the system. I mean, it's something that can easily be taken for granted because somebody will think about, I drink water every day, maybe I just need to drink 6 glasses or 8 glasses a day. But Anne mentioned something which was very vital to our drinking water. That if you're drinking 6 to 8 glasses of water a day and you're still dehydrated, you then need to ask the question, am I getting the right water into my system? Keep that question in mind. Watch this music break and we'll be right back after this.
Your name, hey, hey. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. Hey. All right. See the grace on me, the favor on me, the mercies I see. Be God, you bless me. This love I have, this peace I have, this joy I have. Be God, you bless me. It's not by might, it's not by strength, just by the Holy Ghost. Be God, you bless me. I'm not ashamed to tell the world a blessing that comes from God. Oh, God, you bless me. Hey. Who will it bless? God bless. From the planes I fly, the cars I drive, the money I have, the food on my table, the houses I build, the family I got. It's not by might, it's It's not by power, just by the Holy Ghost. See, I'm not ashamed to tell the world my blessings they come from God. Hey. It be God and it bless me. God and it bless me. God and it bless.
Thank you so much for staying in tune with us every Saturday at 2 p.m. right here on this network, Faith World TV. Don't forget, you can also watch us on www.faithworldtv.com. So pass the word around, call your friends and call your loved ones. And help me welcome Anne Gylman back to Praise Talk Show.
Hello.
And it's a pleasure to have you. You're always glowing when I look at your skin. It's so beautiful to look at you.
Thank you.
I just asked you for a program, actually. I need to say this to my viewers because, you know, it's not just about water. It's not just about organic food. It's about a lifestyle that you need to incorporate into your everyday life, isn't it?
I think so.
And
yeah.
Everything comes together and makes someone, to help someone function in the best of the ability that God has put on the inside
absolutely.
of them, isn't
Yeah.
it? Last week we were talking about water.
Yes, we were.
And for the benefit of those that are meeting Anne for the first time, is it okay for me to say that you are a health practitioner?
Yes.
You are. And Anne has studied the functions of the body. And last week we talked about toxins, we talked about addiction. We also talked about actually the reason why you went into all of this. Okay. But going forward today, I really want us to cover water. Somebody would say, but it's water. We drink water. I just buy bottled water and drink it, you know. And
It's interesting that you didn't say turn the tap on.
well, the tap one, I know. I do drink tap water sometimes, actually, but I now put it through my structured system.
Yeah.
I have got a structured system.
Oh. Me too.
But going into water, and why is water so important to the body?
What is important to the body, and as it's important to the earth and everything else, it's important. It's in macrocosm and microcosm. You know, with the same amount of water, 70% approximately, as the earth is sea.
Okay.
We're interrelated, everything, all the time.
Yeah.
We live in humidity. Our world is water. Everything on this earth is here. Water, it cannot be without water. No plants, no food, no people, no fish, nothing
That's
is
right.
here without water.
Okay.
The most important thing about water for us and our children is that we need water. Our cellular system, we're flesh and blood and bones.
Yeah.
That's made up of cells, body cells, and they're the building blocks of life. The cellular system reproduces itself, and it will reproduce itself. So you hear people say, oh, we have a new liver every 3 years, we have new skin every 5 weeks, or however it is. We know that the body's reproducing and replacing itself all the time. So you could say that when I was 5, I had a body, and now my body is physically as well as, it's a different body, absolutely. So the cellular system is huge, and it's the foundation of the water work, really. So the cellular system is designed to be steeped in water, inside and out. So you've got, in the average body, about 100 trillions of cells. And they have a nucleus in the center, so the water not only needs to be around the cells,
Right.
it also needs to be inside the cell. So it needs to be completely, so we have to have water that can get inside the cell. And
To help it regenerate better cells or
absolutely.
good cells for the body again.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's what causes sickness, especially, I mean, a lot of people are dying these days of cancer. And we hear that is because of cells that have been intoxicated that become cancerous in the body. So it's then very vital for us to be able to regenerate better cells, healthier and better cells for the body to be able to function and be cancer free. Can cancer be reversed?
Absolutely. I'm a prime example.
You are.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
how can that be reversed practically for somebody watching us today or listening to us?
The most important thing is to just take a look before you get something like me. I got cancer. That was my wake-up call,
Yeah.
at looking at the way I lived. But I didn't, to have somebody like me come out and talk to people about how you can avoid getting cancer first, let's go on a preventative program first.
Okay.
And if somebody is sick, put them on a program that will help anyway. And people get cured all the time. And
They get cured.
yeah,
or
you can
killed.
use that word, cured.
Cured.
C-U-R-E-D, cured.
People
Healthy
can
again.
get cured from cancer.
Yes.
Okay.
I had cancer in 1983, I think it was. And they said 50-50 chance of survival. They took the tumour away. They didn't take enough tissue away. And they couldn't take any more at that time. So they went into, I had radiotherapy. Then I had radioactive implant. They discussed taking but one breast off, two breasts off, and all that. And I'm like, hey, hold it.
This is my body you're talking
Yeah,
about.
chopping me up like I'm whatever. And so that was my wake-up call, and I was terrified. I had 2 young children. I was divorcing. I was separated, and I just took a look at everything. And the guy in the hospital, he was a boy, came over to me in a white coat, and he said, "Do you want to look at lifestyle?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, I do. I want to look at everything." He said, "Okay." He gave me 5 typed sheets. I still have 4 of them, and it talked me through food. It didn't touch on water then, because I didn't know structured water didn't exist in my world at the time. And so I just, when I got home, I believe I was the only one out of the 4 of us in the ward who survived.
Wow.
Yeah, one girl, Mary, carried on smoking. So that's my understanding. I was the only one that actually survived and is here today, 30 odd years later.
30 odd years
83, yeah, it's 31 years.
31 years later, you were still here, glowing, looking as beautiful as ever. And
Thank you.
if you don't listen to me for whatever reason, listen to Anne, because she is an example of what she is talking about. Going back into water, Anne, where does the Earth's water come from?
Earth, as a system, has always had the same amount of water. Since time, it's always had the same amount of water. So water comes down to Earth, we use it, commerce these days does horrendous things to water.
Do you know what? I actually saw someone advertise diet water the other day on Facebook, and I could not understand. I thought, what is this? But please don't be distracted by that statement. Go ahead. Yeah.
We've got the same amount of water all the time in the Earth. It's a kind of sealed system.
Yeah.
So the water comes down, it gets polluted and contaminated on Earth. And farmers and industry are awful because they just cock into the soil, into the water, and it goes down into well waters, it goes into. And so when the water is used, what happens? Earth evaporates it up again,
Right.
so it goes up into the sky, heaven, the universe, and it comes back down again. It goes
As
through
rain.
a process, rain, snow, dew, and here it comes again. And the interesting thing is, it's what we call restructured. It's free from all its memory from the last time it came. Because if you go up into the mountains at 3,000 feet,
It's almost like saying renewed water.
yes, it's
Water
renewed
that is
water.
being renewed, that is being revitalized for us to use. That is what
Again.
structured, for us to
Yeah.
use again, and that
Yeah.
is what structured water is.
It's exactly
You've
what it
used it, it's lost its life,
Yeah.
it needs to go back up, get
Get
some
its
more
life
life,
again.
get everything else that we need, and it comes back down to say,
Yeah.
hey,
That's the miracle.
I'm here for you to use
Yes.
me. Wonderful. I
Isn't
just
it?
got that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's an absolute miracle, and it just happens time after time after time.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first understood that, my life just went wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just got a revelation about structured water right here on set with you, Anne. So Earth then produces its water. And what is then, we've just explained really what structured water is. Structured water is water that's got its life back.
Yes.
Now, we've got tap water, we've got bottled water. Are those meeting to the needs that water needs to meet to for it to do its work in the body?
No.
Okay, and why is that?
Because several things. One quickly is that nature has no straight lines.
Okay.
There's not one straight line in nature. And so water meanders. It comes to the earth, it sits on mountains, it's ice, and it always flows downwards. But it flows and it dances and it moves and it goes down rivers and it crashes and splashes and it goes in sunlight and shade. And that's a part of the erasing of the memory too. It erases previous memory with moving and dancing. Water dances and moves all the time. So children dance about a lot, don't they? And all the water's in their body. They don't stay cross for long. They don't say, blur 3 weeks later. They're like over it. And so that's what water does. If you put water in canals, for instance, canal water, it stagnates.
Yeah.
Puddle water stagnates. You get an old pond with no filter and no pump. It stagnates. In countries like Africa and India, you get water just sits in leaves and in rubber tires. Wherever it finds to sit, it stagnates. You've got mosquitoes, you've got malaria. It brings
and
disease with
fungus.
it. Yeah. So if you take that into like Western society, where we have a lot of pipes, everything is piped. So water is, it stops dancing and moving. It gets stuck in a pipe and it gets moved along some dirty old 100-year-old pipe or a new shiny pipe, whatever. It goes along these pipes. It's not moving, so it loses its life.
Oh.
So
You're actually talking about water like a plant.
Yeah.
That when it once exposed, it blossoms.
Yeah.
And then we see the beauty of it. And so when water is let out, okay, in order for us to be able to, when it's let out, it gets all the energy and it blossoms, and then it's ready for us to take in. Now, how can we get this structured water into our systems?
You can get it into our systems by having structured water units.
Structured water units.
And they will structure tap water, or actually before it gets to the tap, they will structure the water as it comes into your house. Mine goes, I've got a flat, and so as soon as the water comes into my flat and goes under the stairs, that's where my unit is. My unit's like that.
Okay. So Anne, going into what we're saying, we have not been able to get what the correct water that we need to get into our systems, okay? And tell us about these units that you have here, which are natural action dynamic enhanced units.
Yeah. Okay. So the important thing about the water also is that when we're dehydrated, that brought it up for me because you said plants. If we look at a plant, a lettuce, an apple in a fruit bowl, anything, as it loses its water content, you can see it. Apples go spongy and skin goes crinkly. Yeah, and your plants, if we forget to water the plants, they go
goes over.
They wilt and they die fairly quickly. We can live without food. We cannot live very long without water as a species. So what we have to do, and the first organ that dehydrates, and this has a huge impact on the way we see life, is the brain. So when the brain dehydrates, we get tired, lethargic, don't care, argumentative, resistant, don't, drink a Coke, have something like, soda pops and things that give us a quick sugar hit, and then we go shh again. And we store all those toxins in the body. So what we need is to have live, dynamic, enhanced water, living water in our body to keep our body back to life. And importantly, we said it last week, but just for anyone who wasn't listening last week, the water from a structured unit has a small molecule, so that can get into the cellular system. When we have other fluids and like water with fluorides and chlorines and things in, and all those chemicals, they can't go into, they're too big, the clusters are too big, they can't get inside a cell. So the inside of the cell isn't moisturized as it needs to be. So that's reproducing itself as weak and aging and like that, tired. So we get tired and our skin gets like an apple in the fruit bowl,
Yes.
you know? And
Yeah.
it's just like
Begin
that.
to show wrinkles.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Okay. And so the water helps to keeps people. It helps to keep people young,
Absolutely.
and it gives us energy.
Yeah.
Structured water does that.
It does
Now
that.
the question is, which is what I said earlier, is that you made a very, very significant statement, which somebody might be saying, oh, it's just about water. But the recommended dosage of water that we're meant to have every day is 6 to 8 glasses of water a day, right?
Yeah.
But if somebody's actually doing that
Yeah.
and they still feel tired, what does that say?
It's the wrong water. Your cellular system, your energy system can't use that water. And if it's contaminated water, your system might want it and it's thirsty, but it's saying no. It's like if you give a horse dog biscuits to eat, it won't eat them. You can't do
If
that.
you give a horse dog biscuits,
Well,
okay,
eat it.
right.
You have to give it what it needs.
You need it.
Yeah.
You need to
and
give
your
it the
cellular
right
system
thing.
needs water that it can actually use and benefit from. And then everything, you water the plant and whoosh, just like that, it comes back to life. And
We've
that's
got
what we
some
do.
pictures saying that. We've got some pictures of plants that have been watered with structured water, and a tomato that was watered with structured water. We could see the difference with how the tomatoes look like. I mean, that looks like an enormous tomato. It looks so big.
Yeah.
Was that grown in your own garden?
No, America.
In America.
But my
Okay.
herb garden, I
Yeah.
have got one of the most, my herb garden is, I don't have a garden, but I have a strip. It's about 4 times this table.
Okay.
And I've got 10 herbs in there. The neighbours take them. I use them all the time. They are the strongest, loveliest herbs. They don't get black flies and all that stuff on them. They don't get, you can just pick off the mints and the basil, the fennel, all those things, the horseradish. You just take it and it's beautiful. And you can feel the strength in the plant. And I know that strength goes into my body then.
Yes, because what tends to happen is not just the water that we drink. I mean, you mentioned about, we're talking about chlorine just a minute ago,
Yeah.
and it's not just from the water that we drink, but it also comes from the food that we eat.
Because it's
And
grown
so
with that water.
It's grown with that
Yeah,
water.
yeah.
So when we talk about toxins in different things or in water, it's not just in one particular thing. It's probably the food that we eat that has been fed with the same wrong water.
Yeah.
It helps that to grow, and those things are deposited into our bodies as we eat them, isn't it?
And it builds up and builds up and builds up. And as time passes, you know, when you're a kid, you can kind of cope. You get behavioural stuff with children. You get them kind of holding themselves up and those because their body's toxined and weak. But you get, as we get older, people say, oh, well, she's 45 now. I'm like, hello? The biblical age is 120. We all know that. So then you get to 40, 50, you can't wear your skirts up above your knee anymore. And you've got to look wrinkled and hobbling. And, you know, you have to be falling apart. Do we have time to do what the doctor said last week?
Yes, we can go.
Sure.
We can go through
Okay,
your report really quickly, because Anne did a medical report. Is it a test?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I have a new doctor, and I very rarely, I see her, the doctor probably once a year. And the reason I go is because I'm vegetarian and eat a lot of raw food, is to get a worming pill. So I went up to get my worming pill, new doctor, she's lovely, very young, and she said to me, oh, okay. She said, but I'm a little bit concerned because you've had cancer, haven't you? I said, yeah, I did. Yes, I did have cancer. She said, well, I'd like to do a cancer bowel test. And I'm like, okay, that makes you happy. So she took, I had to give her stool samples. So we did all that. And they went off to the hospital, and I went back last Friday to pick up the results. And I could see the mechanics of her trained brain in the pharmaceutical industry. And she said, so we had, first of all, at the beginning of the month, the biological age reading, where at 71, I had the physical body reading of a healthy 55-year-old. So that was really encouraging. So I went for my parasites and worms pills, so she gave me those. So she did blood pressure, 119/63, which is very good. So I gave her the samples, and they took blood samples, and I got them back last Friday. This is the result. Liver function normal, iron, no anemia, so that's normal with no anemia. Blood count normal, glucose normal, so no diabetes. Kidney function normal, B12 normal, stool sample, no eggs, no parasites.
Wonderful.
And she she said, do you mind if I give you a rectal examination? And I'm like, oh, are you going to stick something cold and metal up? And she said, no, just my finger. Okay, do it. So we did.
That makes you happy?
If that makes you happy. She said, well, it completes everything. And it's like, I'm like, okay, well, let's be complete. So rectal examination, nothing to note.
Wow.
So it was, and she looked at me, and interestingly, she looked at me and she said, I could see that.
Was she thinking
she couldn't get, she couldn't kind of get there, and she said, I suppose if you, because we had a conversation about the way I live, lifestyle, and she said, I suppose if you believe in what you're doing, she was looking at placebo, because that's part of their training. So she was looking still in her toolbox, which is from the pharmaceutical industry, and it was like, and I said, well, does it matter? It works.
Yes,
So
it's working.
It's working, whether it's, and I'm grateful all the time.
Yes.
So that was it. And then just to finish, for me, I did a talk on Saturday